Broadcasting live from WOYK's downtown studios at Santander Stadium. Talking York's home teams. Welcome to York College Spartans Sports Weekly on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK. Now, here are your hosts of Spartan Sports Weekly, Daryl Henry and Scott Geis.
Don't worry, Derek. I have your intro as well. We'll do it live. I don't know why it's still missing. I have no idea why that is.
I mean, it's not like you got the voiceovers done like way back early in the year.
Yeah. I mean, they're live, just like the show.
Yeah.
Just like the show. Exactly.
Welcome to York College Spartans Sports Weekly here on a beautiful Monday from our new studios. Well, somewhat new. They were even newer a week or two ago, but they're still new and still gorgeous in here in the new WOYK headquarters. Overlooking, not overlooking. Because we discussed this last week. We're on the ground level. There you
looking
go.
At a pond.
You wordsmith, you.
Yeah, well.
Looking out upon Brooks Robinson Plaza here at Santander Stadium. And you can get verbiage like that from Scott on ycpspartans.com on a daily basis.
Every day ending in Y. Yes, that's exactly right. So, hey, it's hard to believe it's opening week for you. Where did that come from? It seems like we were just sitting in the old studio, freezing, and looking at the snow in the field. And now the field looks great. Oh, it's in great shape there. Get opening night only 5 days away, right?
Yeah, and it's I think appropriately so. On Friday night, it is supposed to be a little cool. I think that's appropriate for opening day. I'd almost prefer it that way. I think it's from what I've heard though, it's going to be nice, high 50s, and as far as precipitation goes, we should be in the clear there. Knock on wood. So, not to jinx anything, but we've had a good run as far as weather to open a season, and we've opened at home a lot here lately. The first 3 years, we were always on the road to start, and we've almost made it a tradition now to open at home year after year. So looking forward to it. And
what's the expectation this year? How good are the Revs going to be?
I think they have a chance to be right in the mix again. I always feel that way. We've built a winning tradition here. Mace has a formula that's proven and works. I think it's going to be another year where pitching and defense is solid and a constant. And you can't really judge from preseason, but we've played 3 games so far, and Saturday the bats finally started to come alive, and I think there's some guys in the order that they're going to make their mark. We've got a good right balance, and some different types of hitters that should complement each other well. So, yeah, looking forward to. But you're right; it makes one's head spin. The fact that we are to this point already, and it used to be like I would see the major league games start on TV, and it would start to feel right that this is the start of the season. But even that seemed to get here so quick, yeah. And here 3 weeks later, it's our turn.
That's what happens when you have 2 kids.
That's exactly
all of a sudden,
right.
Life just starts going even quicker.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I think what you talk about with baseball nowadays, pitching and defenses, I think you see that a lot more across the board. It certainly has happened in college. It's starting to happen in the professional leagues now, and a lot of that has to do with, quite frankly, the drug testing. Now, it doesn't occur as much down at this level, but the fact of the matter is people aren't getting away with it anymore. The inflated hitters are not getting away with it anymore, and I think we're coming back to a more natural state of baseball. Yeah. And I think what else is big is, no amphetamines really might be the bigger story than necessarily the steroids, because guys have to play day games after night games, and that's a tough thing to do, and it's hard. When you're taking those drugs, it makes it a little bit easier, made it not as hard to do. But I think nowadays, that's harder for players, for everyday players to do that, and certainly guys in the bullpen, it's harder to do that. So I think it's a more natural state of baseball, and I think it's a good thing because there's nothing wrong with a good 4-3 pitchers duel where little things make a difference, and you have to do little things right. That's kind of baseball I know I enjoy watching. So yeah. I don't think I'm in the minority either.
No, and we do get tested multiple times a year in our league as well. The day games after the night game. I know you are at your best when you're here to official score for the 11 a.m. games, and you also generally seem to bring a rain delay with you.
Yeah,
so
we'll
see what happens this year.
We'll see what happens this year, but I am the human rain delay when I walk in, so I'm not always well received when I walk into the press box.
Well, how are the Windsor Spartans doing?
We actually play on Saturday for the first time. We're playing a preseason tournament, so I'm pretty excited about it. Good group of kids, and it should be about having fun and going out and playing, so I'm looking forward to it.
Greatest day of the spring for me growing up was always Little League opening day. I'm sure that rings true.
Yeah, we play this weekend. It's a quote-unquote preseason tournament. We don't open our league until two weeks from today. We'll open up our league, so our kids, it's a good group of kids. I'm having a lot of fun, and that's what baseball should be. It should be fun.
Is Shane the big bopper?
He's big.
He's big.
Yeah, no, he's doing a good job. All the guys are doing a good job, so it's been fun. So,
and the practice plan is already established for today.
Yeah, the practice plan is done. So
you've met with your staff.
Yeah, my extensive staff. Actually, I got a great staff, but nobody wants to hear about my baseball team, so let's get started.
Shall we? All right.
Shall we?
Well, yeah, it's been a busy week, guys. This is York College Spartans Sports Weekly. We'll get to all of the spring sports on this show. We've got an interview with the women's lacrosse coach Jen Mustin on the program coming up. Great week for them, and we'll talk about that. You can find us here on radio, also online at WOYK1350.com. You can find us on the WOYK apps, YCPSpartans.com, and if you've missed any of the episodes, archives are aplenty. So, guys, we'll start with women's lacrosse, and this team has positioned themselves very well heading into the conference tournament. Let's get the latest on them and really hitting their stride here late in this season.
No question. A pair of wins this week. They beat St. Mary's 15-9. St. Mary's, they had come into the game tied at 5-1 in the conference, so that was a huge victory, and then picked up a 13-7 win over Christopher Newport. In the game against St. Mary's, it was a dominant first half by the Spartans. In fact, I said to Coach Mustin that it was one of the best games I've seen, but one of the best halves I've seen us play in a long time, and we've had some really good halves the last couple of years. But they were up 9-3 at the half. Both teams scored 6 in the second as York took the 6-goal win to really secure second place. And then they did it with Jamie Verman. She had 3 goals and an assist. Caitlin Catrano had 3 goals. Brittany Noel had 3 goals. Rachel Sachs had 2. Allison Calesi, Sarah Castle, Melissa Mealing, and Megan Strauch each had 1. So, of those 15 goals, very balanced scoring for the Spartans, which has really kind of been a thing the last couple of weeks. They've really kind of gotten – it hasn't been one person just doing the job offensively. And then they came back and beat Christopher Newport 13-7 on Saturday. That game started off wild. The first half was crazy. It was a back-and-forth game. Christopher Newport scored 7 goals on their first 8 shots of the game. Yeah. So, you think it's going to be a shootout. We make a goalie change and shut them out over the last 4 minutes of the first half and then the entire second half to provide for the final 13-7 score. Lily Damalugi with 4 goals, Jamie Verman with 2, Sarah Castle with 2, Caitlin Catrano with 2, Melissa Mealing with 2, and Brittany Noel with 1. And really the job of the defense was pretty fantastic. The starting group of Macy Yates, Katie Owens, Carly Doherty, Megan Strauch, and Erin Mensch were just absolutely fantastic. Doherty had another huge game. She had 6 draw controls, 4 caused turnovers. She earned, for the second week in the row, was named the Capital Athletic Conference Defender of the Week. So Spartans have put themselves in position right now to host this coming Saturday. They will host the winner of St. Mary's and Frostburg State. That'll be a semifinal game on Saturday. I believe the tentative game time is going to be about 1 o'clock. So it's going to be a challenge for the Spartans to have to face St. Mary's again. Certainly we made them look bad this week. I don't think they're that bad. I think they're a pretty good team. So it's really going to be a tough game, and the Spartans are still looking to get into the NCAA tournament. Obviously, winning the conference would be nice because you get the automatic bid. But a stat that I saw today: Salisbury's won 86 consecutive Capital Athletic Conference games in women's lacrosse. So. I don't think anybody is counting on, earning that automatic bid because that'd be obviously that'd be a pretty big upset. And now, do I think it's really an upset? Because I think we're pretty good. But, so obviously Salisbury's really good as well. So
played him tough early in the year.
No, it played him tough early in the year without two starters, without Jamie Verman, without Megan Strauch. So, I think there's no question that we can go down there and win. But first and foremost, you got to take care of business on Saturday, and then you go from there.
It's a 5-game winning streak, and on the 5 straight wins, they've scored 17, 13, 16, 15, 13. Is this team an offensive juggernaut?
I don't know if I'd say juggernaut. I think they've become more efficient offensively. I think the passing. We saw some great stuff this week, I should say, in terms of making that extra pass to get an even easier shot. I think this team's really unselfish, and I think it's good that there's not one player who you look at and you go, like on the men's side, if you shut down Tyler Hudson, you have a good chance of beating us. There's no one player, I don't think.
No, I don't. Like in years past, we've had Kim Wason, Erica Mulford, who've been your dominant scorers, your go-to people. I don't think we have that, which is, I think a blessing because, again, it makes it tough on the other team. You never know who's going to have a big game for us. And yeah, I mean, we look at the shot totals throughout the year. There's no shortage of getting shots off. The game against Christopher Newport, we had 43, which is season high, and ranks fifth in the three-way tie for fifth all time. We've always been, so far this year, we've always had no trouble getting shots off. It's just a matter of trying to be more accurate and stuff like that. So, but I think a lot of that has to do with also our stellar play off the draw. We won 15 draws against Christopher Newport and 19 against St. Mary's, which is 19 against St. Mary's is pretty impressive. Like we said, they're a very good team. One of the few non-ranked teams we've played, but a very good team in that. And Carly Doherty, Katie Owens have been huge on the draw, and across that's big. If you can win that draw, it gives your team possession, and then like I said, we get down there and we just start ripping shots. So it's been, I think offensively we've definitely come into a groove here late in the year because like we said, we've had a lot of new people step up. Jamie Verman coming over, transferring in this year. She's had to figure things out. She's been a huge asset offensively. She can score, she can dish out, she can create her own. She really uses her body to create a shot for herself that is kind of unique because you don't see that a lot in women's lacrosse, and really no one else on the team throws their body around like she does. And Lily Damalugi, a freshman who's gone through ups and downs, but she's been very solid offensively. Sarah Castle, again, a senior who can create. So there's a lot of different options to go there. And like Scott said, they're very unselfish. They're looking to make the right pass. They're not necessarily saying, okay, we need to get so-and-so needs to score, X amount of goals today. It's just a matter of running the offense and seeing what the defense gives you.
Well, looking at the statistics, one thing that stands out to me is we don't have anybody that's taken 100 shots at this point in time. Sarah Castle has the most at 88, but it's 54, 34, 60, 62, 36, and then a bunch of players in the teens. In the past years, Kim Wason, Erica Mulford, they were up there in shots, and that's not a bad thing. They were great goal scorers.
They should have been taking their shots.
They should have been taking their shots, but we don't have that one player. I think Jamie's probably, in terms of dangerousness, she's probably the most dangerous player we have because she can create for herself, and she can finish. She has 25 goals on 54 shots. So that's it's a really good percentage of women's lacrosse. So you watch and you see how these kids are playing together. It's fun to watch. And that, it's one thing about that team that has always really impressed me is they're really close and they all get along really well. They play well together. Coach Mustin drives them pretty hard, but these kids want that. They respond to that, and certainly it's been a lot of fun to watch because, hey, there's a lot of question marks heading into this year about we had to replace more, 2 more All-Americans, and when you take it alone, just replacing from year to year, but the talent we've had to replace over the last 2 or 3 years is significant. So the ability to continue to restock the program, and the great thing is Sarah Castle's a senior and Carly Doherty's a senior, but that's it. Everybody else is coming back next year. So if you look at the production-wise now, they've both been stellar this year. Carly has had really an All-American type season, and Sarah's had another very good year. She has 33 points. So they're both playing well, and we're going to miss both of them. However, we have a wealth of talent coming back next year. I think we could be even better next year.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of those young girls are getting experience this year, which is just you can't overlook experience.
You go down our lineup and it's sophomore, junior, sophomore, freshman, sophomore, junior. You just look at and our defense, with the exception of Carly, is all sophomores.
Yeah.
So except for Megan Stroud.
Yeah. Well,
she
plays
more than
midfield.
anyhow.
Yeah.
But we're incredibly young, so the future is very, very bright for the Spartans.
Well, and for even more on the women's lacrosse team and the recent success, Scott had a chance to catch up with head coach Jen Mustin earlier today.
Alrighty, we are here with head women's lacrosse coach Jen Mustin after a 2-0 week as the Spartans clinched the second seed in the CAC tournament. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about the St. Mary's win on Wednesday. I thought it was one of the best halves. The first half, we just dominated and played great. What are your thoughts on that game in general?
I think we just really clicked offensively, especially in the first half, and we've been talking about just sticking with our game plan and sticking with our offense that we know and that we run so well and making sure that we share the ball. And I think it just kind of all came together, and it was a really good time for that to happen. I think it's a good time for us to be playing our best lacrosse, and I think the girls just really showed some of those things in practice, which is why we were able to bring that to the game situation. So I thought they just executed our offense and our game plan really well that day.
Then you follow that up with a win against Christopher Newport, a little bit of a different way. It was a shootout in the first half, and then you blanked them in the second, actually blanked them over the last 34 minutes of the game. Talk about that game a little bit.
That was the first half was, like you said, back and forth, and I wasn't sure if that's how the whole game was going to go or what. But we came out of the halftime huddle really fired up and ready to go, and we made a change in our goalie position, and Rachel coming in really stepped up and just kind of gave us a little bit of a spark, and that's what we needed. And the defense tightened up a little. We made a couple adjustments, and I think we really just like I said, tightened it up in the second half and really just took away some of the things that we knew they were going to do. And, of course, we weren't expecting to have a complete shutout, but the fact that we did is awesome and is a testament to our entire defensive unit that we really made those adjustments in the second half. So I think that's great momentum going forward. You
got to honor your two seniors, Sarah and Carly. Talk a little bit about what they've meant. Carly's been playing. She's been on a tear the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Talk about what they've meant to the team so far this year.
They're just really hard workers. They are very good leaders, and they lead by example, and they really want it, and they're very passionate, and they, they get it done on the field and in different ways, in different positions. But I just think that they motivate the team, and they're able to kind of grab everyone and say, hey, this is the direction we're going in. Let's take it there. Let's do it. And everyone seems to be able to listen to them and follow and, follow that lead. So I think it's great to have them because they're performing every day, and it's important to have captains that not only are good leaders on and off the field, but they're also out there doing the things that you expect and that you say. So, like I said, each in different ways, but they contribute very much to the team and to our wins and, to our ultimate goals.
Secure the second seed. How important is that moving forward?
It's really important. It just gives us a time this week to kind of regroup a little bit, get a little bit of rest, but also stay focused for, the game that we have on Saturday and, just kind of get prepared for that. Take the week and just, kind of give some people that have a little bit of injuries some rest and get them refreshed. And we can watch a lot of film this week, which will be good. And, it's nice to have home field advantage. It's nice to have a game off, which we have. So, I think we've worked hard to earn that. That's what we've wanted this whole season, and we got it. So now we can, take a little bit of time and enjoy it, but also really make sure we're working hard and wanting to reach our next goal, which is to win Saturday's game.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck Saturday, and I'm sure we'll touch base with you next week.
Great. Thanks very much.
All right, thank you, Scott. Looking forward to Saturday. I want to wish the women's team best of luck. They are certainly a hot team heading into that tournament, and that's the kind of team that opponents probably wouldn't want on their hands come Saturday, and hopefully that holds true.
Yeah, the way they've been playing, they've done a great job, and a lot of credit to Coach Mustin and her staff. They do a fantastic job, and I think we thought at the beginning of the year we'd be good. If you would have told me we were going to be 12-4 at the end of the year, at the end of the regular season, I would have said, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, especially with the schedule they've had this year. I mean, it was kind of set up nicely because they got a lot of they got all their tough games out of the way early on, and now the back end was toned down a little bit. Still some good teams in St. Mary's and Christopher Newport, but they were challenged and tested early and midway through the year. Now towards the end, they were able to get some wins, and I think that helps boost some confidence and get some momentum going into the conference tournament.
Definitely.
Well, guys, we shift gears to men's lacrosse and a team here that has really battled its way through the regular season and getting set to host a CAC tournament first-round game here in a couple of days. But let's assess where they are, and obviously coming off a couple of tough losses here this week that they're looking to put behind them.
Yeah, now conversely, if we said the men or the women were going to be 12-4, we'd be really happy. If you would have told us the men were 9-8, we probably wouldn't be very happy. It's just been a rough year. It's been one of those years that, I think, I'm not sure people always understand in sports that not only do you have to be good, but you have to get some breaks. And quite frankly, the Spartans got a few breaks early, one of those being like a game-winning goal from Tyler Hudson in the first game of the year. But after that, there haven't been many good breaks. The injuries have really taken a toll on this team and forced Coach Childs to play guys that, quite frankly, might not have been ready to play high-level collegiate lacrosse this earlier in their career. But, he's done a fantastic coaching job with this group, even though, they've struggled. They have always been able to make adjustments and try and really, make changes to enable the team to be successful. This week was rough. They went to Salisbury, lost 19-6. The 19-6 final score really isn't indicative because it was 17-0 at the half. So, and it was just one of those games they just played better. They're a really good team. We're not right now, and they took advantage of every little mistake we made. And the sad thing about the game was, unfortunately, Tyler Hudson became the first Spartan ever to reach 200 goals, and it happens in a game like that.
Yeah.
It just kind of puts a damper on that, which should be now it's a huge mark. It's a significant accomplishment for Tyler, but it kind of came in a game where I think everybody would like to just kind of forget it. And, it was one of those games that just it didn't end well and wasn't, Spartans didn't play well. And then they lost to Christopher Newport 7-6 on Saturday. That game was just a good college lacrosse game. If you look at the statistics, it's almost even. It's even everywhere except for the 1 goal difference in the scoreboard. And, credit to Christopher Newport. They played really well. They've been playing well all year. And we struggle to finish. We got shut out in the first quarter and shut out in the fourth quarter. And, it's hard to win games when you're only scoring in 2 quarters, especially when we're not scoring like we're capable of, just because we're not, we don't have all the pieces on the field that we thought we would have at the beginning of the year. And Tyler Hudson, credit him. He's really scratching and clawing and fighting for everything he can get. But we're just having a hard time getting to him in a good scoring position. Our midfield really, as has been the case all year, we just struggled at the midfield. And when you're replacing 2 All-Americans and Seth Krolis and Jamie Lowe, it's hard. It's a lot harder to replace than I think what anybody anticipated. But they have an opportunity in the CAC tournament to get another win and play St. Mary's again and move on and see if they can do something against Salisbury in a second time around. So the conference it's a good conference. Frostburg's been playing well; they're ranked. Salisbury's ranked. You have some other teams. St. Mary's has kind of been up and down and unpredictable, but Christopher Newport's had a good year. Mary Washington's always tough. So it's been a tough league. And that being said, we still finished 5-3 in the league. So. It's just been one of those years, and I know there's a level of frustration with the coaching staff, and just knowing that, until the next recruiting class comes in, there's not a whole lot you can do.
Well, St. Mary's at home on Wednesday. That's 4:00 in the CAC tournament opener. That's a team that they beat on the road 17-4 on April Fool's Day.
Yeah,
it won't be that easy this time.
No fooling about that, but you're right. That was quite the whooping, and wouldn't expect it to be that easy. So the road ahead again, I know you touched on it, but if they're able to get by that one, then you're looking at Saturday and
at Salisbury.
At Salisbury. So that's what the men's team has in front of them.
And one thing, there's a lot of development and growth that's gone on this year, especially with guys that quite frankly, normally probably wouldn't have played this year. But they've gotten that experience, and, it's a situation where that's just, that's been the year, and that's what's happened. So, the kids have done a good job in responding and worked really hard. It's just, things haven't fallen into place, and some years that happens. I certainly don't think that was expected for this year, but I also would not think that that's going to be a deterrent next year. I think we still have a chance to bounce back and be pretty good pretty quick.
All right, well, playoff time in lacrosse, and again, the men at home on Wednesday at 4. The women will be at home on Saturday, and that's what we're looking at coming up here this week. We'll take a time out here on York College Spartans Sports Weekly. Much more to get to, so stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment.
Turning a double play takes teamwork, and so does preparing for life's challenges. Murray Securus works with you, hand in hand, providing thoughtful solutions to help you plan for the future. Team up with Murray Securus for safer, more secure risk management, personal insurance, health benefits, wealth management, even cutting-edge human resource solutions for individuals and small to large businesses. Living life in a winning way just takes a little teamwork. Call Murray Securus today at 397-9600 or go to murrayins.com.
Blazing fast service for all of your wipeouts. OSS Health Urgent Care will take care of all of your muscular and skeletal sprains, pops, twists, and breaks in minutes, not hours. Open 7 days a week for your urgent orthopedic needs. Now at 2 convenient locations, 1855 Powder Mill Road in York and 856 Century Drive in Mechanicsburg. Visit us online at osshealth.com. OSS Health Urgent Care. Experience you can trust.
Dad, I'm home. Why am I not surprised to find you laying on the couch?
Oh, hi, son. Is your fall semester over already?
Yep, I love it at York College, and I really like living on campus this year.
Yeah, that reminds me. We need to have a little talk. About the facts of life.
Dad, we had that talk years ago. And anyway, I don't believe you ordered me from Amazon.com.
I mean, your mom and I are helping to pay for your college as much as we can, but now you've got room and board on top of books and tuition, and you haven't asked me once for money.
Dad, I told you last year that York Educational Federal Credit Union took care of all that. That student choice loan we applied for last year was a one-time application. All I have to do this year is tell them how much I need, and they send the money right to the school. The loan is set up similar to my Stafford loan, so I don't have to start making payments until 6 months after I graduate. I told you YEFCU rocks.
College has been good for you, son. You're smarter already.
York Educational Federal Credit Union, 1601 South Queen Street, York. Apply online at yefcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Revolution! York Revolution baseball is back and opening day is almost here. The Revs Express starts rolling the weekend of April 24th. Friday the 24th and Saturday the 25th, the first 1,500 fans through the Santander Stadium gates pick up a free magnet schedule courtesy of the law firm of Dale E. Anstein. Saturday also features mind-blowing inside the park fireworks after the game, presented by Flipside. Then we'll see you on Sunday the 25th for pregame autographs, catch on the field, and postgame Kids Run the Bases, presented by Logos Academy. Baseball is back in downtown York.
Your home for York's home team. The York College Spartans play here. Sports Radio 1350, WOYK, York.
Back here on York College Spartans Sports Weekly, time to talk some more spring sports and on to track and field. And Derek, we bring you in for this segment, and both teams competing at Moravian on Saturday, and really a lot of pretty strong individual performances as this team gets a couple of weeks away from actually hosting the CAC championships.
Yeah, we're not, not too far away from CACs. This weekend, some of our runners that competed last weekend in the distance, such as Jess Miller, Will Murray, they were given the weekend off. Coach wants to give them some rest. So really just the focus of this weekend was to get a lot of other people, some work in and get some good times in as we close in on those conference championships. We're starting the men's side. Junior sprinter Darnell Tillman, who's had a fantastic year both indoor and out, had a great day. He took first place in the 200-meter dash as he set a new personal record with a time of 21:73. He also set a new personal record in the 100-meter dash with a 5th place finish at a time of 10:97. Tillman's time in the 200 was just 1/100th second off the school record. But also that time gives him a top 10 time in the nation and is the second fastest 200-meter time in the conference this year. So he's looking very, very strong right now. Freshman Grant Dell had another great day on the men's side. He's had a really good cross-country season, also performed well indoor. He's been a really nice surprise for the men's distance runners this year. He ran the 800-meter. He took a 5th place finish with a time of 1:57.32, and that gives him a top 5 time in the CAC. Another notable standout performance, Senior Michael Stetson had a strong performance in the 1500-meter. He finished 9th with a time of 4:05.12, which is good for a top 10 time in the conference. Alex Smith ran the 1500-meter as well, and he set a new personal record with a time of 4:09.50. Sophomore Darian Gray, he's been our best hurdler all year. He had another solid day. He placed 6th in the 110-meter hurdles with a time of 15:78. And he took a 4th place finish in the 400 meters hurdles with a time of 56:09. He was battling some wind conditions. If you look at his times this weekend compared to before, even though he placed very well, his times are a little off, I think, because of the wind conditions this weekend. But still, he was able to fight through and place very well. And then in the field, Ian O'Brien, another solid day in the hammer throw. He placed 12th with a new personal record distance of 148 feet. 1 inch. He now has 2 top 10 throws in the CAC. So it was a good day for the men. A lot of personal records set, a lot of good work in. Women's side, kind of a similar story. Many personal records set this week. But a stand-up performance was Emily Cronise in the 800 meter. She had her season best time of 2:22.74. So she'll be looking to be our top runner in the 800 meters. We close in on track championships. In the field, Carrie Moen, she had a great day. She's a jumper. She did the high jump this weekend. She set a personal best in the high jump with a height of 5 feet and a half inch. And now with that jump, she moves into the top 5 in the CAC this season. Several other sprinters set personal records in the 102 meter. Bria Jones she was York's top finisher in the 200. She set a personal best with a time of 27:27. Hannah Conway had a finish just behind her in 22nd place. She set a new personal record of 27:28. Marissa Brisbane and Jocelyn Parker also set personal records in the 200 meter. Brisbane with a time of 28:43. Parker with a time of 28:76. And then the 4x100 meter relay team, consisting of Conway, Parker, Jones, and Brisbane, put down their best performance of the year with a 7th place finish with a time of 51:82. So a lot of good things coming out of this weekend. A lot of people getting good times, getting good performances. The track team will be at Shippensburg this Saturday at the Paul Kaiser Classic, which should be a good meet. It's a little bit smaller meet. Talking with Coach LoBianco, who is a Ship grad, he was saying it's going to be a little bit smaller meet this year, but it's usually is always very competitive. They always get good teams in there. And then looking ahead on May 2nd and May 3rd, here in York will be the Capital Athletic Conference Championships.
Very good.
It's hard to believe it's time for the conference champion. We've been doing some planning for a while. Now it's actually right around the corner.
Yeah, well, very good. And Scott, now we continue on with men's tennis, and they're in the CAC tournament now and coming off a big win to start that. So they're going places in the conference tournament here.
Yeah, they finished the regular season 10-6. Kind of a disappointing loss at the end. They lost to Penn State Harrisburg on the road last Tuesday, 5-4. It was kind of a match that was kind of weird. Had some guys just not play up to their capabilities, so they got to go on the road on Saturday, go right back up to Penn State Harrisburg, and they picked up a 6-3 win on Saturday to advance to the CAC semifinals, where they will face top-seeded Mary Washington. So, the road doesn't get easy, but a number of really good performances in doubles. The team of Jake Greenstein and Matt Rosenkrantz earned a 9-7 win, and then Zach Hansen and Roy Hanlon picked up an 8-1 win. And then the Spartans got singles victories from Greenstein and Rosenkrantz and Zach Hansen as they pulled out the win 6-3. So a good win. They advanced to face number 1 Mary Washington. They've had a really good season. Now they have a pretty good amount of seniors. There's a good number of seniors on this team. Daniel Irk, Jake Greenstein, Mario Herrera, and Rosenkrantz and Scott Showmaker and George Sosa are seniors. So they lose a large percentage of their team next year. So they want to have a good run, and certainly at 11-6 right now, they've had a good season and have the opportunity to play Mary Washington now. Mary Washington's very good, and they've been very good for a long time. So they're going to have a tough matchup down there. But they're going to have the opportunity, and that's all you can ask for in sports is the chance to play. And it could be a situation where we take a very long trip and Mary Washington does a number on us, or maybe we keep it close for a little bit and see what happens. So the guys have had a really good year. They've had a good run the last couple of years. We've been in double figures in wins or double digits in wins, and Coach Ryan Weber's done a good job with this men's team.
And bouncing back from losing to Penn State Harrisburg in the regular season finale, I'm glad they picked the one to win that they did. Which
well, and it's funny, I said to one of the guys, I'm like, what happened? He goes, it was just a weird day. We didn't play very well. But he said a bunch of guys just had off games. And that being said, we lost 5-4. It wasn't like we got crushed.
Yeah,
we just lost 5-4. And sometimes that happens in tennis, where if you have a couple guys not have great days, you can lose those tight ones. But in fairness to the Spartans, they've picked up a lot of close wins this year. Early in the year they had 3 straight 5-4 wins. So sometimes those go against you, and sometimes you pick them up. And fortunately, the Spartans were able to, like you said, win when it counted in the CAC semifinals, or quarterfinals, I should say.
Right.
And one more men's lacrosse note for you, Daryl. I know you like this part of the show. Matt Rosenkrantz is named our Spartan Athlete of the Week.
Should we get the clip?
Oh, it's up to you.
Or is it a little
probably a little late now?
A little late.
We probably should have warned you. We probably shouldn't have jumped on that.
Well, that's my bad, Daryl.
Remember the one week when I couldn't find it?
Yeah,
it was great.
That was fantastic.
Great radio.
It was great radio.
I have a better idea of where it is now, but
we'll warn you next week.
All right. Well, that's good. I'm happy to hear it. Not to take anything away.
Yeah, he actually Rosenkrantz went 4-0 for the week. Won both of his doubles matches. Won both of his singles matches. So, and he's a kid who's had a really good career. He's he's been a pretty consistent winner for the Spartans, and he's 11-6 this year in singles, and he is 12-4 in doubles this year. So they have certainly done very well this year, and he's a guy that's he's been really good.
All right. Well, congratulations there are in order. That's good to hear, and you heard it here first. And then you can go read about it on ycpspartans.com.
There you go.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, it's already up, but you can go read it after the show if you like.
Yeah, yeah. And
we can pretend it's
at
not
your
up
convenience.
Yet. Yeah.
Whenever you get to it. Or on the app.
Or check Twitter. It's fine.
Okay. Well, Derek, golf here on this segment as well, and Matt Hunter's golfers are doing a nice job here at this stage in the season, and you got to pretend that you were Matt Hunter for a day as well.
Oh, man. That was
living the dream, baby. Living the dream.
That was great. Although I should probably say they didn't perform too well the day I was there, and then the next day they stepped it up. But anyway, that was last weekend. This weekend they were at the CAC Golf Championship down in Christopher Newport University, and I think it was a great performance for the Spartans. They came in third place with a team score of 302. That was on Sunday. Excuse me. They combined score of 622. York's top finisher, junior Ryan Wolbach. Man, he had a great performance yesterday. He shot his career best low of 69, which was just an awesome performance for him. Bounce back.
In other words, that's what Daryl shoots on the front nine.
Sometimes.
Yeah. So he really held the torch high for York, finishing a tie for third place overall. So we're very happy for him. And then senior Dave Boslow came in 12th place. He was York's next top finisher. He finished 6 over par with a 76 on Saturday, and he earned all CAC selections for his finish overall in the tournament. And Ryan Wolbach also an all CAC selection. First team for him. Dave Boslow finished second team all CAC selection. So those two guys really they did a great job, and it was nice to. I mean, you're playing against CNU is clearly the front runner in the conference, and it is what it is. But I think our guys should definitely walk away with their with their heads held high. I think third place is very respectable, and they should definitely be proud. I know Coach was ecstatic with Ryan's performance, and Ryan's a nice guy, a great kid. Got to meet, get to know him a little bit, and all the guys really are great guys. But really happy for Ryan that he was able to kind of, get out of, he's been battling all year, and it was nice for him to finally catch a break and and have a round like that, and feel good, and hopefully coming back next year as a senior. So hopefully this will give him some confidence and that moving forward.
Now I'm curious, Derek. Do you have a thought as to why you weren't able to get the best out of them the day that? Did you learn anything?
I think I'm just too soft there. Coach Hunter is, he's a tough, gritty guy, and he's just. I think he puts the fear into them that they need to. If they don't perform, it's not going to be good afterwards. No
meal
dinner
money's getting
afterwards.
cut. That's all there is to it. Meal money. That's what you got to hit them where it hurts. Meal money.
That would do it.
Yeah, I'm just too nice. I like the guys too much. So that's.
I hear his demeanor though is very different on the golf course.
It's slightly different than on the basketball court. Yeah, it's not as much yelling, I would say.
we joke about it with Coach Hunter, but he does.
There are
really
no
good,
officials.
Yeah, he does a really good job. That's right. Now he does a really good job with our golf team. Yeah, he does a really good job with our basketball team. He's by nature he's a pretty positive guy, and he's pretty encouraging. And there are times I know as he's a relatively decent golfer. It can be a little frustrating when you see your kids not performing, but for the most part he does a really good job with those guys, and they like playing for him, and I think they have a good time with him, and ultimately it's a good experience for our kids, and certainly a positive thing to have him running the golf program.
It's definitely, you have to take a different approach for sure, because you can't really yell at a kid or I mean, even to fire him up, it's tough to really yell. You got to talk to him and say, hey, what happened, or what did you see here, or you just kind of have to talk them through it, and analyze the game more so. Where in basketball, you're not really dwelling on stuff. You're kind of just moving forward. Where golf, it's you break it down. It's more cerebral, I guess you could say.
Well, and I think too, you have to realize that a lot of these kids have their own coaches. They have their own personal swing coaches. Yeah. So it's hard for a collegiate coach in our situation to really do a lot of coaching. He does more. I think he does a lot more management with the mental aspect of the game and the approach. And hey, what were you thinking there? Or hey, what do you think about maybe clubbing down here, and try and get them to think their way around the course. And I think he does a good job with that. And I think that's probably that's his most important job when it comes to coaching.
Yeah, and in basketball, I should mention he's vocally positive. I mean, he's very loud, but he is very positive.
I
mean, he pushes the guys pretty hard.
When you see that a lot in basketball, I think a lot of coaches in basketball get the notation of being negative and screamers, but I think, like you said, Matt's he's loud, but he's very positive.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, good stuff, guys. Thanks for the update there. We're going to talk baseball and softball coming up in the next segment, so stay tuned for that here on York College Spartans Sports Weekly. We'll be back right after this. Hey athletes, does the winter weather dampen your sports training? It doesn't have to. Take your game inside at Backyard University, York's spectacular indoor sports training facility, right at home in your backyard. Located inside Fairmont Gym at 201 South Charles Street in Red Lion, Backyard University is a beautiful, state-of-the-art indoor complex for all of your sport needs. Featuring a complete baseball and softball training complex with batting cages, pitching tunnels, and a turf field for the entire team, Backyard hosts camps, clinics, and competitive youth travel teams to play in the region's top tournaments. Join York Revolution greats Jason Espedo, Daryl Harang, and Corey Thurman for one-on-one training. And take your speed and agility to a whole new level with professional trainer David Brixius from Explosive Sports Performance. Play your game year-round at Backyard University, right at home in your backyard. Visit online at backyard-university.com.
Security in life isn't something you just wish for. You build it with a strong financial plan. Start with Northwestern Mutual. Together, we'll design a disciplined and balanced approach to financial security, because reaching your goals is something we both want to work toward. To learn more, contact me, Dan McGarry, at my office on the Square in York. Look for the blue awnings. Who's helping you build your financial future? The Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
We're Screamin' Green. How about you? The York College Spartans are on Sports Radio 1350, WOYK.
back here on York College Spartans Sports Weekly. We can talk about softball and baseball, or we can talk about what you guys wanted to bring up during the break.
All right, we have to bring it up real quick. You're an Eagles fan.
Yes,
Tim Tebow, what do you think?
When do you get in the jersey?
when he's on the team for at least 3 seasons and producing. And I've given up jerseys because they're all obsolete after a year anyway.
A year, 2 years,
but
yes.
There's no risk to it.
I think it's a great it's a great move because it works out. Chip looks like a genius, and if it doesn't, they don't owe him anything, so it's fine. I think hey, in the NFL you have a limited roster size, and if you can get a guy that can be effective on multiple fronts, whether it be the 2-point conversion, which is I have a feeling going to become more in vogue this year in the NFL, or if you can get him to make a couple plays a week. Then it's a guy worth keeping around. So, hey, Chip thinks outside the box. I think that helps. I think sometimes he does take it a little overboard, but hey, if it works, he looks like a genius. And if it doesn't work, it's like, well, we tried. So I think it's a win-win if you're an Eagles fan.
One interesting little nugget, Tom House, the guy that Tim Tebow was training with, especially the mental aspect, throwing mechanics, all of that. Ian Durham, one of our pitchers with the Revolution, actually trained with that same guy. He's a mechanics and sports psychologist guru type. Actually pitched in the major leagues for a little while.
Is he the former Rangers pitcher?
Former Rangers pitcher or pitching coach, yeah. And now he trains those in more than just baseball. Obviously, getting a hold of Tebow with his mechanics. So, little connection to York there. But
how about that?
What do you think about the Browns' new jerseys? And Derek, we have nothing to talk about with the Packers. So
because the Packers just win,
yeah,
right.
It's so boring.
You don't have to worry about
jersey
gimmicks.
Hey, quite frankly, until they start winning, it really doesn't matter. You can put them in pink tutus if they win. Who cares?
Oh, jeez.
It's nice and everything, but at the end of the day, I'll trade crappy-looking uniforms for a winning team. So, hey, it is what
Great
it is.
line.
That might make it on our next Spartan Sports promo that we got.
So anyhow, we'll see. And
I think they look good. I like them. They look clean. I like the Cleveland across the front. It's bold. It's big.
The only team in the NFL that has their hometown name on.
Oh,
how about that for a nugget, Daryl?
There you go. I love
just
nuggets.
Full of it today.
Or when are you going to buy your first new Browns?
I'm not going to.
Okay.
I don't spend money on jerseys. That's just.
What about for Shane?
Shane is already in the mail.
Yeah, Shane's already picked out the one he wants, so he wants the orange one, which I would tend to agree with.
And who would he pick?
It's not going to be number 2. I'll tell you that right now. Anybody but 2 is
going
my
to throwback Brady Quinn.
Yeah, we might go. Oh yeah. Number 10's been worn by a lot of guys. So. Could be Mike Pagel wore number 10 back in the day. So
no idea who that is.
Yeah, Mike Pagel.
Yeah,
Kelly Holcomb wore 10.
I know. I've heard of him.
Yeah, a lot of guys have worn number 10. Mike Pagel, former, played for the Colts too. Played for the Browns. Played for a lot of teams.
Journeyman.
He was a journeyman. That's all the Browns quarterbacks are, other than Kozar journeyman. I mean, come on, let's be honest here. So as radios click off, let's get back to
Browns.
Let's get back on topic.
Let's save these ratings here. If we can. Guys, softball and baseball here on this segment. And for softball, they've had a pretty good season with a young team, but unfortunately ran into a couple of tough squads at the CAC tournament. Ended a little bit quicker than they'd hoped.
Yeah, they lost to Mary Washington at Christopher Newport 6-4 in the opening day of the tournament, and then had to come around and play Salisbury and lost 7-2. Yeah, I think the thing Coach Pettis was most annoyed about was the performance at Mary Washington, where if we catch the ball and make some plays, we win the game going away. I think that was a little hard to deal with and that's quite frankly an area this team hasn't been very good at. We haven't caught the ball very well. Defensively, we struggled at a couple positions, and that kind of reared its ugly head in the CAC tournament. In the game against Salisbury, it was again. Defensive breakdowns in the first inning caused a 4-run first, and then they got 3 more in the second, and that was all they needed. But they hung tough and made it a 7-inning game, which when we've played Salisbury in the last couple of years, that hasn't always been the case. So all in all, not a terrible performance. Good to get the kids' feet wet. Good to have them get tournament experience. This is a team with 1 senior, a team with no juniors, 3 sophomores, and everybody else is freshmen. So it's incredibly young. They're going to have a chance to close out the season strong. They have 8 games left. They are at Eastern tomorrow for a doubleheader, at Elizabethtown on Wednesday for a doubleheader, at McDaniel on Thursday for a doubleheader, and then close out their season at home on Sunday against Mount Aloysius. So a situation where they can end, they have a chance to get over 20 wins. They're 19-15 right now. The opportunity to do that, and quite frankly, if they go 4-4 the rest of the way, they're 23-19. It's a pretty good year for the amount of youth that we have now. I would believe that Coach Pettis believes we should be better than 4-4 to close it out, but we'll have an opportunity to do that at the end of the season. And next Monday we'll be sitting here talking about softball season being concluded and really kind of being able to analyze where they finished up this year.
Yeah. Well, and with baseball, unfortunately, missing out in the CAC tournament, which we talked about last week, which gave them 8 days off. So a rested Spartan squad, which they have not been for a long time, took the field yesterday, and good for them. They get a win on Senior Day, and they still have a bunch of games left on the schedule to try to finish strong and get up over 500.
Yeah, 13 games left after yesterday when they beat F&M 7-3. F&M had come into the game having won 7 straight. Now, in fairness to F&M, that was like their 8th game in 6 days, and it's some kind of ridiculous thing like that. They've been playing a ton of games, and most of those have been conference games. So obviously the priority for them is not to throw pitching in a game like that, and they kind of went pitcher by committee yesterday, and we were able to take advantage of it and be able to put some runs on the board. Andrew Tucci was great. He gave up 2 runs in 7 innings. The 2 runs came on a home run that hit off the top of the fence and bounced back in. The umpire thought it hit the scoreboard, so awarded a home run. It shouldn't have been a home run, but other than that, he was great. Pitched really well as he improves to 4-0. So the Spartans will welcome Montclair to town tomorrow. Rowan on Wednesday. They travel to Susquehanna on Thursday. Stevenson on Saturday. So they're going to have a busy week with 4 games this week. But they have a chance to end strong. And at 12-15 right now, it's obviously not where anybody wanted to be. But that's kind of their lot. That's where they are. So it'll be very interesting to see how the Spartans can end the season, especially with some of the young pitching. Be very interesting to see how those guys can throw over the course of the last couple of weeks to kind of set the tone for next year.
I'm looking at Tucci's stat line from yesterday. I would have loved to have watched that one. 12 ground balls, 2 flyouts.
And 3 double plays. He was in trouble in the first inning. He got himself, he hit the first batter, gave up a single, ended up getting a double play to get out of it to end the inning. And, he kind of cruised from there. He was very good. I believe he got a double play in the second, and then I think again in the 6th, if I'm off the top of my head. But he was really good, and credit Andrew Tucci. He's a kid who hasn't pitched a ton. He's battled some injuries, but he's really been good his senior year. And I think sometimes it takes kids until they're seniors to really have it click for him, and he's certainly taken advantage of it. He's done a really good job. He's not a kid that's going to overwhelm you with great stuff, but he's a pretty smart pitcher, and he battles, and he does a good job, and he's really pitched well pretty much all year this year.
4-0 in the year, and last year we saw him primarily out of the pen. So to make that adjustment as a starter and go 4-0 has been
and he goes deep. I mean, he went 7 innings yesterday, threw the ball, and really was only, I think when they took him out, he was at 79 or 80 pitches.
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty efficient. It's funny, when he works, he slows when there's a runner on, the game slows down a lot. But there's no doubt that he's in control of the tempo and the pace of the game, and he does a good job holding the running game. Brocious threw a guy out at second yesterday because Tucci was aware of him and is quick to the plate and did a really good job. So, happy for him, because that's it can be tough sometimes to kind of get thrown in that role that you're not used to. But he's props to him. He did a fantastic job. And yesterday was Senior Day, so 7 Spartan seniors. They're closing out their career. We do Senior Day a little early, but that's okay. So we honored J.J. Oliniaz, Andrew Tucci, Derek Pitzer, Dan Gerganis, Zach Philippi, Brad Wenzel, and Stephen Mealy. So those guys are closing out their career. Certainly all of them play key roles in our success this year and have for the last 4 years. So it's been a fun group to watch play, and it'd be nice to see them end the season strong.
Yeah, you get a chance to see them the next 2 days at home. Montclair State tomorrow at 4, Rowan on Wednesday at 4, as we continue our our annual trek around the New Jersey Athletic Conference in baseball. Always have
we get all kinds of conferences at the end of the season. Like
Scout's got to show his loyalty to his home state.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, we'll take one final time out, guys. We'll wrap up the show when we come back. Get your final thoughts here on York College Spartans Sports Weekly on Sports Radio 1350.
Did you know that Shipley Energy can take care of all your energy needs? From heating oil and propane to providing your home with electricity and natural gas. We also provide heating and air conditioning service and installation. All of your energy needs are under one roof at Shipley Energy. To learn more, visit ShipleyEnergy.com or simply call 855-4-SHIPLEY. Shipley Energy. Energy for life.
At OSS Health, our highly trained physicians are on the field, in the training room, at home games, or away. From preseason physicals to postseason surgery, we're on the sidelines so athletes don't have to be, getting you back in the game. When it comes to sports medicine, we're the ones you've trusted for 30 years. OSS Health Sports Medicine, experience you can trust. Visit us online at osshealth.com.
At Northwestern Mutual, we take a disciplined and balanced approach to financial planning. Together, we'll help build your financial future on time-tested principles, not market trends, so you can take advantage of life's opportunities. To learn more, contact me, Dan McGarry, at my office on a square in York. Look for the blue awnings. Who's helping you build your financial future? The Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Revolution! York Revolution baseball is back and opening day is almost here. The Revs Express starts rolling the weekend of April 24th. Friday the 24th and Saturday the 25th, the first 1,500 fans through the Santander Stadium gates pick up a free magnet schedule courtesy of the law firm of Dale E. Anstein. Saturday also features mind-blowing inside the park fireworks after the game, presented by Flipside. Then we'll see you on Sunday the 25th for pregame autographs, catch on the field, and postgame Kids Run the Bases, presented by Logos Academy. Baseball is back in downtown York.
Your home for the Spartans. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
All right, guys, we'll finish it up here in our European segment to wrap up the show. And guys, just to kind of recap what's coming up this week, we've got some teams in playoff action in the CAC tournament. Going to have some of those at home with men's lacrosse Wednesday, women's on Saturday, baseball's home Tuesday and Wednesday as well. So this is an important week for many of our athletic teams.
Yeah, it's hard to believe we're kind of winding down, and that's it's been a long year. You know, we've certainly had some highlights this year. One thing I do want to share that Dwayne Bastress and his wife April welcomed little Cora to the world 2/19 yesterday morning, and I know he's over the moon about being a dad. And,
congratulations!
Yeah, I want to fast forward 18 years to see what happens when one of those boys tries to date his daughter. That's going to be fantastic.
Should we play the breaking news now?
Yeah, it might be. But congratulations to Dwayne and April. Certainly they're going to be great parents, and they're super excited. And we were joking around with him. She's pretty long. Said, you might get used to watching some women's basketball games. Said Betsy's already signed the first recruit of, whatever year she's going to be out of high school. So, I know he's. They're both really excited, and mom and baby are doing well, and can't wait to see him. But wanted to let everybody know that. So it was a pretty eventful week in the Bastress household for sure.
Yeah, good for them. Congratulations. It's awesome.
And we also celebrated our 25th silver anniversary with the CAC. We had 57 student athletes earn teams. Basically, the conference is in its 25th year of existence. They picked out the top 25 players from each sport through a formula of all conference and player of the year and stuff like that. We actually had 57 kids earn, or I shouldn't say kids anymore. A lot of them are, have kids of their own, but former student athletes that earned 57 of them earned a berth on those teams, and we had 26 or 27 of them back this weekend. They were able to come back, and we honored them at halftime of the lacrosse game. It was pretty special. It was great to see a lot of people come back, and it was a lot of fun. I always love seeing the alums. It's great to see them.
That's terrific. Yeah, get the tradition involved, get them back, and always great to see them. I mean, it's brings back the memories for sure.
Oh, it does. And it's funny when you see these. When I knew them, they were kids, and now they're having children, and I know that I'm going to get old when we're going to start getting second generation kids coming and playing at York, and we hopefully have that happen. There's a lot of great athletes out there that certainly have had children and have followed along in their parents' athletic footsteps.
Yeah, no, that's great. And a couple weeks ago we talked about the Hall of Fame induction for this coming year for York College, and you're right. I mean, some of the names, it kind of does make you feel a little bit older.
Well, and there's a bunch of people there Saturday who I hadn't seen for a while. Dave Martins was back.
Oh yeah.
Ashley Swope, who I hadn't seen in a long time, looks great.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those baseball guys, Chris Brower, obviously Matt Day I see every day. Travis Gatos was back. Some women's lacrosse players. Josh Papson, former men's lacrosse player. So it's kind of neat. I know I'm missing people. Oh, Robert Powell. You remember Skeet?
Yeah.
Former basketball and track and field standout. And, it's just cool to see people, and it was really neat to have the opportunity to kind of, briefly get to talk to them between games, because you know how that goes when things are going on. It's a pretty busy time.
Yeah, it was cool for me, too, to kind of put some faces to the names. So you see all these names in the record books, and Scott telling stories about Gator hitting bombs. And, it was cool to, obviously they're older now, but to finally see these people in person. For me, obviously they were before my time, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, always a great weekend to get them, and I know the weather was great, so yeah.
That helps a lot.
Stuff. Yes. Well, guys, thank you very much. Been another fun Monday, and we'll look forward to next week, some CAC tournament action to recap.
Yep, good luck to the Rebs this weekend as they open their season, and hopefully the weather will be nice for you guys as well.
Yeah, I hope so. Looking forward to it. Yeah. All right, this has been your College Spartans Sports Weekly. We'll talk to you next Monday at 4 here on Sports Radio 1350 WOYK.
Your home for York's home team. The York College Spartans play here. Sports Radio 1350 WOYK York.